1-1. A difficult obstacle for the Cougars.
Unquest is the unquestioned leader of this Rainbow Wahine team. But BYU has its fans here too, highly supportive of the Cougars. And Gale Johnson would be the emotional leader for BYU. Not the favorite player of the San Diego State Aztecs. They were all over her in the post-game interviews after the match. They don't like the way she celebrates, but Gale Johnson's a competitor and has been a winner for the Cougars.
Well, I love it. They called her Toyota, somebody who does those Toyota jumps after. But I think that's great. It brings a lot of enthusiasm to her teammates, and that's what this sport's about, having fun.
NALANI, Yamashita about to put it in play. Outstanding back row specialist. Soji says she's one of the best backcourt players she's ever coached. We're underway, the WAC Championship at stake, and it's side out to the Cougars.
BYU had their troubles offensively last night. It took them a while to get into it. They slept until about 9:30 this morning, and so the coaches have been concerned that they maybe wouldn't be awake enough, but it looks like they are right there.
Outside Crawford, dinking it down off the assist from Amo, side out Rainbow Wahine. THERESE Crawford, a powerful attacker against New Mexico. 17 kills and 18 attempts. Only one hitting error. Chance for Hawaii to score first. Another free ball for Hawaii to go at. Back set Unquest. Too easy for the All-American.
Boy, she makes that backslide look nice. She just goes up. Watch this. Excellent approach. The thing that's great about her is she's so versatile. She has 6 or 7 arm swings that she can pull off successfully, and she'll do that backslide off of 1 foot.
Great dig by Yamashita in the back row. Back set STEELE on the slide is covered nicely by the Rainbow Wahine. Here's an opportunity for Hawaii to score again. Out of the deep court, Robbins is blocked. Dumped down by the very fine setter, Robin Amo, the senior from Honolulu, Hawaii.
That's something that the Cougars have to watch out for. Look at her leaping ability. She's only 5'8", but she clears the net, and she is so tremendous athletically. She can dump and really frighten the team.
Another kill for Angelica Unquest off a tough serve by Chastity Nobriga, which kept the Cougars off balance. And quickly, Hawaii jumps to a 3-0 lead. Rainbow Wahine doing a nice job to begin this first set, covering the court. See if the Cougars can put the free ball away. STEELE can't put it down. Here's Crawford going up. And again, BYU can't put it over.
Hawaii doing an excellent job right now defending the tip. They have not let any balls drop into that soft center. They're covering very well.
Hawaii is digging and serving so tough. Cougars on the net, and Hawaii has a 5-0 lead quickly. BYU needs to talk about it. Elaine Michaelis can't like what she has seen to begin this match. Dave Shoji's team comes out on fire. They look like the #1 team in the country. BYU regroups. They are facing a challenging assignment today in Las Vegas. BYU started slowly in the quarterfinals, losing the first game to Colorado State. In the semis, they lost the first game to San Diego State, and each time Elaine Michaelis' team stormed back to win the next 3. To start this match, they're down 5-0 to Hawaii. Once again, BYU must regroup, and they go to Amy STEELE on the slide, and she comes through, and the Cougars side out.
BYU hitting for 0 right now, and Hawaii hitting 500. Look for that to change, though. As you've mentioned, BYU's getting out to a slow start in games, but they make good adjustments throughout the match.
Here's a chance for the Cougars to score with Gale Johnson. Through the block of Unquest and Amo.
It's 2 in a row for the Cougars. Gale Johnson this time getting into it. We said earlier she has to be on, and look at this, a nice approach. She had to reach back for that set a little bit, but she was successful.
Block on Unquest by STEELE and Johnson. Another chance for BYU. Can they put it down? Here comes Johnson. Dug in the deep court by Robbins. BYU, and that's not a good pass by Gale Johnson, shanking it straight out of bounds, side out, Rainbow Wahine. There she is, Angelica Yoonquist, unquestionably the top player in America this year, propelling Hawaii to an early lead.
The only loss coming to Stanford.
There's the block. Jocelyn Robbins on the outside, another senior from Hawaii. This is a veteran group of Hawaii players on a mission this year. Again, after that loss to end the season against Michigan State last year in the NCAA tournament. Johnson rockets that one through the block. Side out Cougars.
BYU will take advantage of the short setter in the front row here. You've got Yoonquist up, which puts up a nice block. And Amo is a good blocker. Sometimes her leaping ability, her arms are every bit as high as Yoonquist. Let's see what happens.
Put away again by Yoonquist off the back set by Robin Amo.
You can see Amy Steele there telling her teammates she's going to hit it that way off the crossover every time, and that they need to adjust that outside block.
Yoonquist serving into the net. Side out Cougars.
You know, that's interesting. Yoonquist has a beautiful jump serve. She's one of the best servers in the country, and she's opting to just stay on the floor, maybe a little bit tired.
Dump down covered by BYU. Gail Johnson is controlled nicely by Nobriga of Hawaii. Tori Rogers tools the block. And BYU has its second point of this first game.
Watch this. Amo, she puts up a nice block, but that time she got caught. She has to go so far down to get a good leap that she mistimed that one.
And a hitting error by Robbins on the X-play. And BYU has cut the deficit to 3. So the Cougars, after down 5-0, calling the timeout. Suddenly are coming back. Here's a service ace.
Hawaii has shown some vulnerability in the WAC this year. Colorado State 3 weeks ago took the Wahine to 5 games.
Smith serving tough here on the step out. Putting it away is Sia Goods. Dominant player at the net. Great leaping ability. But BYU has climbed back into this first game. 6 serving 4. Hitting error on BYU. Rainbows with another point. 7-4.
You see Sia Goods there. She's an interesting story. Not recruited heavily out of high school, but she's turned into one of the best college volleyball players. Dave Shoji has a way of doing that with talent.
There's Gail Johnson, give her the kill. Again, she played on the 93 team that not only defeated Hawaii 1 out of 2 in Hawaii in Klum Gym, but reached the NCAA Final Four. And earlier today, Hawaii was talking about this, saying, hey, we can't take this BYU team lightly. They beat UCLA and went to the Final Four in 93. And they talked specifically about Johnson being the leader of this team. Corey Rogers is blocked, going up strong, putting it away is Rachel Green of BYU.
One thing we haven't talked about, Randy, is how young this BYU team is. They only start 1 senior. They're very young. They don't have a lot of court experience. And Hawaii, a team of veterans. And Hawaii's mission this year, after that 1 loss last year that took them out of the national championship, they said it's been an empty feeling, and that's all they've thought about.
Crawford is roofed. Corey Rogers on the outside. Point Brigham Young.
Corey Rogers, just a sophomore. Look at this leap. She and Amy Steele seal off the block. Great tandem.
Cougars to within 2. Nobriga is blocked. Johnson getting up with Steele. BYU not getting that great wall up. Steele punching it over the net. Amo with that soft set to Crawford. And a net violation on Crawford. Point to BYU.
Well, this BYU team, Gail Johnson told me a couple of weeks ago, hey, we can play with any country in the nation. This is a perfect opportunity to showcase that talent. Play with some confidence and just see what you can do against the #1 team in the country.
Chance to tie game 1. Not there. That nectar set to Crawford. The beautiful set by Amo. They call it a nectar set because it's so sweet.
Well, when Robin Amo does it, it certainly looks sweet. Look at her touch on the ball with such a long, high outside set. It's very difficult to time, and that was beautiful.
NALANI Yamashita, her sister Tanya plays for UC Santa Barbara. They can meet in the NCAA tournament. That one's straight down. Corey Rogers, kaboom.
Corey Rogers did a nice job finding the seam on this. Look at that. The middle was late closing over. Angelica Ljungqvist couldn't get there. Nice job reading the defenders by Rogers.
BYU is down 5-0. They have a chance to tie the dig, but now Crawford goes up and hammers it down.
Therese Crawford is someone we haven't talked a lot about, but boy, she's one of my favorite players on this Hawaii team. She is so explosive. Look at her leaping ability.
Service error from Nobriga. So for the third time, BYU serving to try to tie this first set. Heidi Illustre. She's one of the young players in, and Chastity Nobriga goes out. Can the Cougars get even? Crawford on the slide, jamming it off the block. Side out Hawaii.
Crawford has an extremely quick arm swing. It makes it very difficult for the blockers to get up. Look at that. She's got it over the net and it's down before the blockers can really react.
And BYU on the lift gives Hawaii the point. There is Crawford from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Found her way to the island of Honolulu, and the junior puts it back in play. Cross-court keel for Gale Johnson.
Gale Johnson finding her offense today. Right here, high outside set. Johnson, great approach. She'll go off the shoulder of the block.
Madalena Smith with a beautiful set there. Ljungqvist block. BYU getting two blockers over against Ljungqvist. They had blockers over on the left side, but still too much strength from Jocelyn Robbins.
You see how Hawaii is using both outsides. They go to the right with Ljungqvist, immediately right back to the left, and that will really spread that block.
You bring up a good point. With Amo setting, Hawaii's offense can play from antenna to antenna. Here's Amo on the free ball, sending it outside to Robbins. He's done brilliantly by STEELE. Great dig by STEELE. Amo again, setting Goods, and Sia Goods puts it away. 9-6 Hawaii.
Sia Goods sometimes has to play in the shadow of Angelica Ljungqvist, but she is an explosive player, and they don't lose anything with her on that outside hitting position.
That one's through for Gale Johnson, who's been very accurate in game one since the team was down 5-0.
Such a fun environment to play in today. It's electric. You can feel the enthusiasm. And I think a lot of the players out there are just enjoying themselves. It's exciting.
Well, it's a great experience, in particular for these Cougars, as more substitutions as Illustre goes out. BYU has seen good crowds, but nothing quite like this. Johnson is controlled. Robbins on the tip. And the Y team runs it down. Robbins tools it off the block.
Good recovery by Hawaii. They were chasing that ball everywhere, but Robbins able to put it off the blockers, wipe it off. Look at this dig by Amy Steele. Not only is she great at the net, but the back row, she is solid.
Well, the Cougars felt they could dig with this Hawaii team. Here's a block from Nobriga. We talked about the BYU block being number 3 in the country. Hawaii is 5th in the United States in blocking. Penn State is the #1 team in blocking. Washington, BYU, Nebraska, and Hawaii. So these teams can get that wall up, and Hawaii has spurted once again to an 11-6 advantage.
See Elaine Michaelis talking to her young players last night after the match. People asked BYU how it would feel to go up against Hawaii, one of the great blocking teams, and they said, hey, we love matches like this. This is what we're competing for. They weren't intimidated. They said that this would just be a lot of fun, and that's really how you have to look at it to stay in a match like this against Hawaii.
Well, it's a growing up experience for Elaine Michaelis' team. They've run right through the Mountain Division with the 15-1 record. Never lost any of the teams in the Mountain Division. The only time they got beat during the regular year in conference was a crossover against the Pacific Division San Diego State team, and then they won the rubber match in this tournament in 4 last night. But it's a different story against the Rainbow Wahine. They're a much tougher team. There's STEELE. Amy STEELE has had a terrific year. 17 kills, but it's the blocks, and she's been as good as anyone on the block for BYU in this tournament. Her mobility on the net, it makes her such a tough player. She can really roam on the court.
The thing I love love about Amy Steele is how competitive she is. Last night after the match, I was walking upstairs and she was walking next to me. She said, "So Holly, how did I do?" You know, she's always concerned with her performance and looking for ways to improve.
Had a big smile knowing she had to go against Unquist today, and BYU breaks down. Those are the kind of mistakes they can ill afford against the #1 team in the country. And Hawaii has doubled the arithmetic now at 12-6. Amo back behind the line. Hawaii up on that block. And they cover so well. Robbins off speed. All the shots, Jocelyn Robbins, and it's 13-6 for Hawaii.
Well, the key you mentioned, Hawaii covers so well. They do not have any weaknesses. When somebody goes up to hit or to block, they are always covered. Someone has always got their back.
That one's through. Gail Johnson keeping the Cougars in the first set.
Gail's
Division Player of the Year.
You see her run back very quickly. She's not wasting any time in between services, and maybe she needed to take a little more time and get a little more focus for that serve.
You got to love her enthusiasm for the game. Jocelyn Robbins serving for Hawaii. Very short serve. That one's a tough attack. You got to like the attack there from Rachel Green.
It's an interesting strategy. Sometimes that's a way to mix things up, is start serving a team short. It totally changes the passing lane and makes it very difficult for the offense to get into transition.
Petrilli serving for BYU. A big hole there for Nobriga. Block got up a little late. You can't do that against Hawaii. You got to get that wall up in a hurry.
Chastity Nobriga finds that seam in between the blockers. When you're going to set the block at the net, you've got to make sure that you close, because you can put up a great block, but if you've got a seam, it doesn't do you any good.
Yamashita serves an ace. NALANI Yamashita, who started her career at Colorado State before transferring to Hawaii. Game point for the Rainbow Wahine.
Dave Shoji says NALANI is one of the best back row players he's ever coached. That's saying a lot.
Free ball to attack. Can Hawaii win it here? They do with Unquist. And Hawaii overwhelms BYU in game one, 15-6. After jumping to a 5-0 advantage, BYU rallied back to 7-6. But Hawaii won the last 8 points of game one. They are indeed the team to beat in the WAC. Well, there's Warren Epps. He's the unofficial cheerleader that follows Hawaii around, and he can really do it. He can boogie. Normally, he has a partner with him, Alan Hackbarth, but he didn't make the trip to the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas. But Warren has been entertaining everyone, and his team, the Rainbow Wahine, the numbers all on their side as they capture game one by 15-6.
But look at the percentage of hitting right now. BYU at 267, Hawaii at 400. Strong percentage for them. And the blocks really haven't been the story. We talked about that going into it, but it hasn't been the story. BYU hasn't got into their blocking game, and it's opened it wide open for the Wahine.
And Hawaii served tough with the 3 aces, keeping Elaine Michaelis' team off balance in game one. Not concerned, not yet.
She said last night that she will put her front line up against anyone. She said there have been years where she wouldn't say that. She said her front row and her blockers are as good as they come, and she had no problem having them go up against Hawaii. She didn't think that they would be outplayed.
Well, it's tough to beat Hawaii unless their passing breaks down. If Dave Soji's team passes accurately off that first pass with that tandem up front with Goods and Unquist, they're very difficult to handle.
That's one thing maybe BYU could be taking advantage of, is serving the hitters a little bit more, forcing those hitters to pass so they're not available for the attack.
Petrilli serving for BYU. We begin game two. Cougars up on Unquist. That one falls down. BYU will take it.
Well, that was just lucky. There was no design or plan to that. They were just trying to get it back over. Watch this. Unquist, and good defensive effort there by Gail Johnson.
Unquest gets that one through despite Petrilli's dig effort. There she is, Angelica Unquest. 2 years on the Swedish national team.
Her coach said she's one of the most mature, strong, all-around, well-rounded people that he's ever been associated with. Speaks 3 foreign languages, Swedish, English, and French.
Cougars side out. BYU with the 1-0 lead to begin game 2. Down a set. Best 3 out of 5 for the WAC title. That one's in. Unquest jumping above everyone. Again, she's 6'3", so she has all the elements: size, great arm swing, and mobility.
What I like about Unquest is she's been mixing it up. She goes line, cross court, deep court. She's not predictable.
And Robin Amo sends it back quickly. Unquest there too, but Robin Amo, the setter, was able to reject it.
Amo is one of the best blocking setters in the country, if not the best, Randy.
Overpass, and Unquest puts it down, and Hawaii puts 2 in a row together.
Got a real mismatch right now. Annalena Smith at 5'10" for BYU is in the front row, and there's nothing she can do going up against the 6'3" Unquest.
On the slide, the kill for Amy Steele.
One of the things BYU said they wanted to do against the Rainbow Wahine is side out quickly when Unquist was on the front row, give them a chance to get points quickly.
They want to get her out of the front row. She's good in the backcourt too, but she's devastating in the front. There's a block for BYU on Robbins. Robbins will try it again, and this time she punctures it. She pounded the ball, Jocelyn Robbins.
Robbins was second team All-Big West last year, and she finds a big seam in that block.
Bring up a good point. This team won the Big West title last year, joined the WAC July 1st of this year. Jump serve is long by Unquest. Big West has 3 great teams left in that conference: Long Beach State, Pacific, and UC Santa Barbara. But this Hawaii team went undefeated in that league last year. Both teams have hit 3 outside the boundary serving. Dig, deep court steal. Johnson behind the antenna, just able to get it over the net. Robbins blocked. Rachel Green, there she is. The roof.
Rachel Green has been very quietly getting things done for the Cougars. Look how well she closed on that. Credit Annalena Smith for setting the block in the right place to begin with.
Another point for the Cougars. Playing the ball nicely off the net was Smith, and Green with the spike. BYU by 3-2. Overpass, Johnson got it.
Excellent decision by Gail Johnson. She could see that all of the all of the Hawaii players were sucked up into the front court. She finds that deep corner. Nobody was there.
On the dump down, Robin Amo able to drive it off the block.
Amo returns the favor there, and you can see that there's spots in the court. Volleyball is a way of finding holes, and the best team is the team that is able to see those holes at all times.
Again, Hawaii with the serve, keeping BYU off balance and a chance to score. And an easy point for the Rainbow Wahine, with Robbins with the kill. And it's the tough serve, the last one by Amo. Let's see what she can do here. Hawaii looking to draw even in game 2. Johnson is dug. On the joust, tipped over on BYU's side. Run down by the Rainbow Wahine. Nobriga on the dink. Point, Hawaii.
BYU's not doing a good job of covering for the tip. They have left a lot of holes wide open, and this was easy. They could see her approach, they could see where she was going, and nobody came up to cover. You see that huge hole left by the Cougars.
Hawaii for the lead. Amo serving tough. That one's up. Unquist able to keep it alive. Another free ball for the Cougars. Johnson with a nice approach, jamming it through the block of Goods and Nobriga.
BYU coming on, Randy. You can see that every point they get, every side out they get is giving them a little confidence, saying, hey, maybe we can play with this team.
Goods on the slide, going up over the block. Sia Goods dated Shaquille O'Neal when Shaquille was in Hawaii. That one's for you, Shaquille. They're still good friends.
Well, she has come a long way offensively. That's probably been the biggest improvement in her game this year.
Back set, blocked. Still alive. Cougars in transition with Johnson. One of our longer rallies so far. Corey Rogers. And it's side out, Brigham Young.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking to Mark Warner, the coach from San Diego State, and he said, I would set Corey Rogers more. I see that she's one of the weapons BYU has, but they don't use her enough offensively.
And Nobrega drives it past Steuer. Caroline Steuer got up, but Chastity Nobrega was able to get it by her.
Again, I'm concerned with the hole BYU's leaving. You see it. Big hole there. Again on that play.
Quest, the All-American, #1 in America in blocks per game.
She is so tall. Look at this block. Beautiful ceiling. You could see it was because she brought the forearm over that block went straight down.
And the soft block by Hawaii. The attack is hit wide by Crawford, side out Brigham Young. Well, the Cougars dodged a bullet there as Crawford had the line. Hawaii winning the battle at the net.
It's interesting to see what adjustments both teams will make, because you start out a match, you see who's going up against who and what kind of liabilities you have on matchups, and then you make adjustments.
Into the net. Again, it's alive off the net. Amos setting so softly. The back row attack is read by Brigham Young.
Triple block. You don't see it often in volleyball, but it's pretty when it happens. Look at this front row of the Cougars. They close up together. Beautiful block.
Even though it came out of the deep court, it did not fool BYU at all. Bad pass. Those are the balls you got to put away on the overpass. BYU didn't do it that time. Here's Crawford going up, and she sticks it in the net. A hitting error on Therese Crawford.
Therese Crawford is usually very consistent. You don't see her make mistakes a lot.
Cougars by one. Seesaw, game two. Hawaii won the game previous. Game #1, 15-6, and then they go to Old Reliable on the green and white side. Angelica Unquest.
We talked about her versatility, Randy, but you can see how it's killing BYU because the blockers don't know how to defend her. She can go anywhere.
She's just too good. Steuer is played by Hawaii. Misconnection there, Amo and Unquest, and normally they connect. Not here. Side out BYU. Leading by one, and Corey Rogers serving. Unquest coming around, killing it. So many plays, too. They set her from a variety of spots on the court.
Because she can do anything. You see here, she'll go on a quick slide, but she can do it off of one foot. That's what makes her so good.
And STEELE utilizing her quickness to spike it for a winner.
You know, it's interesting. STEELE and Unquist are very similar types of players. They're quick, they're speedy, and they've got a variety of shots. Amy STEELE says, hey, I can do this too.
Well, she's had a magnificent tournament for Brigham Young. Serve sails on Steuer to side out to Hawaii. Caroline Steuer. Some controversy about her name. A lot of people are calling her Steuer, but the family says we want to be called Steuer, so we will grant her and her family their wish. It is Steuer, Caroline Steuer. Set outside Johnson, who's been hot in this match, and tools it off the block.
Gail Johnson, 6 weeks before the season, broke her foot. She's had to battle back from that. She worked the hardest of her career during the offseason to get in shape, lost a lot of weight, and it's paid off. She's having her best year ever. And, you know, you like to see hard work pay off like that for someone.
And it has for Johnson with the big season. Goods jumping up over everyone. Sia Goods.
Passing breakdowns have been trouble for BYU early. Their passing has been a little erratic. At times it's good, but it hasn't been consistent.
We're at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the WAC Championship match. With Holly Rowe, I'm Randy Rosenblum. Watching Brigham Young side out again. Gail Johnson has been on fire in this match. Elaine Michaelis's team dropped the opening set by 15-6. But they're fighting hard against the nation's #1 team in game 2. Here's a service error, though, by Annalena Smith. Fine freshman setter who they think is going to be one of the greats ever to play at Brigham Young.
The last 2 side outs, BYU has had a service error. It's those kind of mistakes that cannot happen when you're going up against a team the quality of Hawaii. You have to eliminate all of your mistakes.
Smith setting outside to Johnson. This time she's roofed on the outside. Illustre, Heidi Illustre. She's of Filipino and Chinese ancestry, and she got up on the block.
I like Illustre. She's just a freshman. They bring her in a lot. She's earned her way into a lot of playing time, and she's an outstanding player.
Tied at 6. That one's down for Brigham Young. Corey Rogers, the quick attack in the middle. Well, these Cougars are feisty in game 2. Set the middle, and goods with some heavy heat. She does bring the goods, doesn't she?
She is a definitely full package. The thing that I find interesting is NALANI Yamashita coming in 5'4". A little tiny thing, but she is so solid in the back row.
2 Cougars run together. That's going to cost them. Smith and Green.
That's the epitome of a double hit.
Yeah, a double player with a double hit. You know, you have to communicate, and there's a case of 2 BYU players not talking to one another. You want to be verbal on the court. There's going to be a lot of talking out there.
I would say talking is the single most important aspect of the game, communicating with your teammates.
Free ball for BYU. Let's see how they play here in transition. Back set Rogers. Got it cross court. Side out for BYU, down by 1.
Well, it's interesting. I think BYU has shown some nice moments that they can play very well against Hawaii. I think their own worst enemy right now is themselves. They're making mistakes.
PETRILLI, the sophomore, serves for the Cougars. Crawford blocked. Corey Rogers with the obstruction.
Corey Rogers puts up a barricade. Look at this. Nice close by Amy Steele. She's late getting there, and so Rogers has to be solo on that one.
Now the Cougars keep Hawaii off balance with the serve. Can the Cougars take the lead? They do. Amy Steele. 8-7 for BYU.
Look at this approach, perfectly timed. And instead of going straight ahead into the block, you saw how she angled off the hand, went off the shoulder.
Dave Soji has called timeout. Game 2 is a good one. Fans having a good time at the MGM Grand Garden, Las Vegas, Nevada. This has been a wonderful tournament. First ever Western Athletic Conference Championship tournament. Automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. Really, what's at stake for these teams? For Hawaii, a win would give them probable home court advantage in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and for BYU, a little bit higher seeding. Both these teams are going to get to the NCAA tournament.
Oh, without a doubt. But I think if Hawaii loses, maybe their first, being the first seed could be in jeopardy. I don't think it would be, but you never know what the tournament committee will do. For BYU, a win over Hawaii could allow them to have the first week of the tournament off and have a first round bye.
Example of what Yoonquist can do, how smart she is. She noticed the wall was up, so she softly used the off-speed shot.
Look at that. You can see when she cut back, she goes a cutback angle against the block. Really throws people off.
Hawaii on the block.
So just like that, Hawaii closing in on that BYU lead.
From the back court, Jocelyn Robbins did not clear the net. Side out BYU. We're even at 8 in game 2. Good look at Caroline Steuer.
Caroline is such an exciting player. She's just a sophomore. She is the most enthusiastic player out there. So fun to watch.
Illustre into the net, and Hawaii breaks down. Don't see Hawaii give points away all that often. but a freebie for the Cougars. Rogers has that hard float serve. It's stumped down by Amo. Side out, Hawaii.
Amo really mixes it up well. She doesn't go to the dump a lot. She does it just enough to keep BYU off guard.
Unbelievable hands for Amo, the co-captain with Youngquest. There's Crawford getting a breather. That one's off the block, side out to the Cougars.
Here you can see Amy Steele mixing it up.
BYU by 1. That one's hit long. Another point for BYU.
BYU sneaking into this match.
Steuer coming off the fine performance against San Diego State. She's a redshirt freshman. Tip down and Hawaii sides out. They needed that. You had a sense that BYU was starting to take control of games, and you notice Dave Soji not happy on the bench.
Well, it's interesting. Robin Amo that time really have to chase the ball, trying to get to that bad pass. She's one of the quickest setters that Hawaii has ever had, and she gets to a lot of balls that maybe she has no business even getting there to set in the first place.
Johnson keeps it in play. Hawaii looking to score with Robbins. Not yet. BYU getting that wall up. Robbins again. Not yet. BYU digs in the deep court with Petrilli. Steele dinks. Covered nicely by Hawaii. Good rally. Here comes Robbins. The line is covered. BYU doing a good job of digging, but not putting the ball in play. Petrilli nets it.
Petrilli doesn't see much offensive action out of the back row. She's just the defensive specialist in that time. She's so embarrassed. She knows that she just really mistimed that. Nice rally, though. Probably the best we've seen.
Yeah, she's going, hey, teammates, I'm not supposed to kill it. I'm just supposed to keep it from falling to the ground.
For being killed.
Robbins and company over to block on Johnson, and Amo was there, too. Gale says they're just too good on the outside on that occasion.
You know, last year, Robin Amo finished 10th in the Big West in blocks, the only setter to even break into that category.
Service just angled wide. 10 is the tie. This has been a very close game throughout as Hawaii continues to hold the margin on the block. Two of the better blocking teams in the country. BYU's turn to grab the lead. Let's see. And Johnson tools it.
She tooled it very softly. That was smart by Gale. She knew she didn't have the approach. She was approaching the net rather awkwardly, and so she just went with a soft wipe off the fingertips.
Goods is dug by Steuer. BYU unable to hook up in the middle, but they do get the roof, and it's a point for the Cougars, and they lead 12-10.
Rachel Green went to Ricks College for a year, transferred down to UVSC, and she was the MVP at UVSC last year. You see why. She's so strong in the front row. Those long arms put up a nice block.
Well, the Cougars have their fans as well, and they know that their team is got an advantage on the #1 team in the country in game 2.
There you see Dave Shoji, 22 years. The interesting story about Dave, he was an All-American setter at UC Santa Barbara. And in high school, get this, Randy, he played 3 different sports. And now the ones you might think, football, he was the halfback, basketball, the guard, and baseball, the shortstop. So he did it all.
Well, he's done it all on the volleyball court as a player and a coach. He was the Big West Coach of the Year last year. Elaine Michaelis has won a lot of honors over her long tenure. Only WAC team ever to go to the Final Four. It happened in '93 when they upset UCLA to get there.
Well,
this is a team that's dangerous again. This is a wide open field. You talk to all the coaches. Florida's amongst the nation's elite, but they feel Florida is vulnerable. Penn State has a good team. Michigan State. But Hawaii and Stanford from the West figure to be very tough. And Stanford's the only team to defeat Hawaii this year. They did it in 4 games in Hawaii.
Well, I think Dave Shoji said it best. He said there's really no clear-cut number one. Some of the polls have Hawaii, some of the polls have Florida. But Hawaii has beat Florida early in the season, though. And right now, I think it is kind of muddled there at the top.
Stanford's 29-2 out of the Pac-10. They'll be very tough. BYU serving with a 12-10 lead. And Hawaii off balance on this sequence, and a free ball for the Cougars. Can they get to 13? Smith went to the dump, did not throw Hawaii off, but again the Hawaii passing breaks down. And so does BYU. That was not a very good rally. They struggled on both sides of the net. Sue Lomera says, let's give the ball back to Hawaii.
Well, BYU had 2 opportunities to put that away, and they just struggled. Their offense never got into sequence.
Chastity Nobrega in for Heidi Illustre. There's Chastity.
Everyone we talked to said that they felt Hawaii does have some weaknesses, that they could be beat, but that probably in the first time seeing them today, Hawaii or BYU would not be able to catch on to those and take advantage of those weaknesses. And I think that's probably been the case.
Johnson didn't clear the net. That's a point for Hawaii. 11 serving 12. Hawaii looking for the draw. Again, another tight set, but a soft shot. Just tipping it over was GALE Johnson.
You see how GALE is mixing it up on the outside? She's going soft, roll shot, hard, hard, brings out the hammer, and then goes soft again.
Well, you have to have the variety. Goods has had a great match so far for Hawaii. Her hitting percentage near 800 in this match. She has been deadly.
Sia Goods, we said before, she's the unsung offensive hero. Angelica Ljungqvist gets all the attention, but Sia Goods quietly goes out and gets the job done.
Johnson again hammering. GALE Johnson is in the groove.
She has unofficially 13 kills at my count. She's hitting .364 right now on the match.
In the second game, you average 4 or 5 kills a game, you're doing real well. She's well above that. Crawford banging away. Back set for Nobrega. Steele will run it down. Cougars and Johnson keep it in play. That's a nice job of playing defense by BYU. Crawford hammering again. Dug over by Johnson. Nobrega left hand tip. Johnson digs again. Rogers, though, able to drive it through the block.
Well, when GALE Johnson isn't getting it done on the offense, she's been saving the Cougars on defense. Corey Rogers fires into that block with so much power. Just trickled straight down, dropped.
Unlike the previous rally, that was a thing of beauty in BYU to 13-11. Dig by Smith. Chance to get to 14. Steuer is done. No! There it is, 14-11 for BYU. They're serving for the game. We will have a timeout.
This is important for BYU because Hawaii has stormed through their WAC schedule this year, and not only have they not lost a match, but they've barely lost any games. I think all year they've only lost 5 games to WAC opponents.
Well, they've lost 7 games all season, Hawaii. They have swept 25 matches this season. They're 95-7 in games. But right now, BYU's got a chance in game 2, as when they come out of the timeout, they'll be serving for the set.
It's one of those situations where Hawaii has started to open the door by making a few mistakes. We saw on that last play, it was simple communication problems. And the thing that will show what kind of a team BYU is and what maturity they have is whether they take advantage of it.
Well, the confidence level of BYU, this has been their pattern in the tournament, dropping the first game in all 3 matches now in the WAC tournament. But in the first 2 against Colorado State and San Diego State, they came storming back to win the next 3 games. And Dave Shoji is laying down the law to his Hawaii squad.
BYU is the kind of team that once they get momentum, they can really crash through a match. And that's why you have to come out against the Cougars strong and not let them get into the match. And I think Hawaii hasn't done that.
Hawaii does feel they can wear BYU down. The longer this goes, they feel like they're better conditioned than Brigham Young. We'll see. They set Crawford. She's blocked. Chance for BYU to win the game. Corey Rogers can't do it. Not yet. Here's Crawford again. Dug over the net. BYU playing great defense. And they block it down, and Brigham Young has captured game 2, 15-11. We're tied at a game apiece. And the number 25 team in the country goes back into the locker room. They'll take a short break between game 2 and 3. This block gives the Cougars the game.
Right here, you see the Cougars, the height. They put the hands over and just gently tap it down, but it's a big one.
Well, we're going at least 4 for the WAC title. They've split the first 2. Well, the fans are having a good time. The first ever WAC tournament. And welcome back. The first ever Western Athletic Conference Tournament Championship for the women in volleyball. We're at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, Nevada. Randy Rosenblum, Holly Rowe on hand. And a nice crowd supporting Hawaii and BYU. And BYU, coached by Elaine Michaelis, her team just captured the second game, 15-11. And they rear them young, don't they? These are big volleyball fans. There's a future, I guess, outside hitter, huh?
Oh, definitely. Her dad is one of the announcers for BYU's radio broadcast, Brett Townsend, and darling little baby.
That's Brett's kid, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
She better play volleyball or he may disown her.
I think so. He eats, drinks, and breathes volleyball. There's Corey Rogers, who's done okay today. But this is the big game, game 3. Can Hawaii reclaim the momentum, or will BYU just move right through like they did with Colorado State and San Diego State in the final 3 games in their quarters and semifinals? This has been a BYU pattern, losing that first game and then storming back. BYU will receive the serve from Hawaii to begin the set. Grace Crawford, who's been up and down in this match, solid in game 1, not so good in game 2. X-play, and Hawaii mishandled the ball, so it goes over to BYU.
I think what we'll see BYU do more of is keep their outside hitters moving. That way that Hawaii can't get that big block up.
Amo, quick set, and Yoonquist couldn't clear the net. That set was too low. Got to get it above the net so Angelica can blast away.
Well, you have to give Angelica very high sets because she's so tall. You've got to give her room to clear that net.
There's Crawford going up. Amo will back set for Nobriga, and BYU's digging everything right now. Crawford. That wall doing very good things for BYU. That tip is down for Crawford, number 1. Number 1's been a good number for Hawaii.
You know, it's interesting. BYU has been so solid. They're pounding down block after block, but it's the soft tap over the middle that's finding them vulnerable.
There's the block, number 1, Crawford. T. Crawford wears number 1. That's been a great number. Kenyatta Lovelace, who was outstanding for Hawaii, was number 1, but so was T. Williams, twice the NCAA Volleyball Player of the Year. T. Williams at Hawaii, but on 2 American Olympic teams.
We saw her this summer in Atlanta.
Yep, she was in Atlanta on a team that disappointed. She was also on the 3rd place team at 92 in Barcelona.
Look at that nice swing. Caroline Steuer lays out. I love her arm swing because she puts her whole body into it, gives her that added power.
Yoonquist dug by Rogers. On the overpass, Steele doesn't put it away, but Smith does. That's center right in position on Elena Smith, just 18 years of age, Mesa, Arizona, her hometown.
She is so competitive. She's feisty. You've got to have a little spirit to you to be a setter because you are the emotional
That block is in, Heidi. Belastre could not get over and get to it, and it's 3-1 for BYU. Here's Yoonquist. And mishandling of the ball, a lift on Crawford. Hawaii not playing well, and BYU taking full advantage.
Right here, you can see Crawford. That ball just gets trapped in that 90-degree angle between the arms and the biceps.
Crawford again, and she's getting very wild. They need to settle Therese Crawford down. 5-1 for Brigham Young, and the Cougars begin to celebrate as they go back around their coach.
THERESE Crawford had 6 kills to start the match, but now she's hitting only 0-5-6.
And BYU jumps out on Hawaii in game 3. BYU has won 22 straight matches, and their strength is the block. They were behind early, and suddenly the Cougars have caught up in the block party, led by Amy Steele. So talented, so good at the net. Crawford's been cold here. She heats up just a bit. That's a big attack and a key spike for THERESE Crawford. She needs it for confidence.
I was just going to say that. She needed a confidence boost right there. And success has a way of doing that for you, Randy.
Well, volleyball, the game of momentum. Currently, BYU has it. Can Hawaii get it back? The block is wide. Side out, Brigham Young.
Good evasive maneuvers by Gale Johnson. She could see that that was wide. Watch what she has to do here. Little twisting dance.
Well, Gale's had a terrific championship match. Wonderful season. Sue Lemaire orchestrating the linesman, making sure of the call, and they all agree it was out. Yoonquist straight down. Amo with that soft set. Yoonquist has been quiet for her for a while. Not here.
Watch that arm swing. It's so quick. She goes off to the left shoulder of the blocker. Excellent decision making yet again by Yoonquist.
Stays with the floater rather than the jump serve. Johnson on the tip. It's down. Nobriga could not dig it on the line.
Textbook right there. Gale Johnson did not show tip too soon. What you've got to do is you go up like you're taking a full arm swing. She got the blockers in the air and then did the tip.
Jocelyn Robbins, heavy heat.
Robbins brings the hammer. She puts that down right between 2 defenders. Look at this. Good combination play. Huge gap, though, in the block for BYU.
And a tremendous set by this player, Robin Amo, who serves. And the X play is accurate for Johnson. That's the combination where you try to disguise the player coming from out of the backcourt. Here she comes.
Watch this. Johnson goes down the pipe. The reason that was so successful, it was almost like a screen. She had a player in front of her while she took the approach, and she kind of came out of nowhere.
Off speed for Robbins, who has a variety of shots, and she utilizes the off speed on numerous occasions. She's been consistent, hits the line well, and has improved her blocking. 1 serving 5. Well, Hawaii's getting a tough match from Brigham Young. So far, more than a tough match. The Cougars are leading in this game 3, tied at a game apiece. There's a roof. Sia Goods, number 3.
Goods and Nobriga. Excellent block there. Sia Goods is such a strong physical blocker. She's got perfect technique.
That one's down.
You know, it's interesting. The block for Hawaii has been very inconsistent. They've come up with huge monster blocks and then just kind of fade away and don't have one for a while.
Well, Corey Rogers drove that one through. BYU siding out, up 5-2. A little bit of a paintbrush job there by Goods. Yoonquist digs. And again, not a clean exchange for Crawford, who's really struggling with her ball handling, and that violation costs Hawaii a point.
When you're making mistakes, it's very tough when you don't have the ball.
Another overpass. Hawaii not sharp here. Bailed out by the kill from Nobriga.
Chastity Nobriga has been very effective on the outside. Last night in one of the press conferences, someone alluded to the fact that maybe she wasn't as strong as an outside hitter as Hawaii has had in the past. But I think the thing that's good for her is she's consistent. She's not flashy, but she's there.
Well, she replaced a great hitter in Jenny Wilton, who graduated. Nobriga was waiting her turn. And here's a rare hitting error by Yoonquist.
Yoonquist having to really move awkwardly on this approach. Watch, she comes over and has to adjust her whole upper body. Just that last second twist makes it so the ball goes straight down into the net instead of clearing it.
Nobriga to the sideline. The hitting errors, and again, as you see, Illustre, who replaced Nobriga. Well, the hitting has gone south for Hawaii. Again, this team is great, no question about it, but they're a little bit better on the island than they are on the mainland.
Well, they've had plenty of time to adjust to the time change and get accustomed to things here. And plus, they're on Pacific time, which is only 2 hours off of their usual time.
Smith wins the joust. BYU leads by 7-2.
Look how excited she is. This is what made Smith good, decision making. She just goes one-on-one with Angelica Ljungqvist and stuffs her.
Ljungqvist into the deep right corner, painting a winner.
Oh, look at this. Ljungqvist goes down after she hit that ball. She turned to the BYU crowd who's been giving her a bad time and said, "That's for you."
Well, you don't want to get a player like that motivated even more. That one served long by Illustre. Saw that in the Olympics in beach volleyball with Karch Karai. They were talking at him through the nets. He was kind of quiet early, and you get a player like that motivated that can really come on. We'll see now if Ljungqvist plays better mad. Crawford drives it down, and a perfect set from Amo.
Well, that started off with a beautiful pass. Hawaii's ball control has been subject to some problems, but there you can see it comes right to you in your living room.
For a minute there, Holly, I thought you were going to make the play. That was right at you. Yeah, she's starting to warm up to the task. And some players, the great players, play better mad, and Ljungqvist is not happy.
Yeah, she's taking over right now. She does not like how loud the BYU crowd is. It's interesting. There's only a few BYU people here, but they're being loud, boisterous.
Smith with a smart play on to dumping it down.
It's amazing the confidence Smith plays with. There you can see some of the BYU crowd. They're few in numbers, but they've been loud, and you just don't want to get Ljungqvist mad.
This time, a facial on the return from Green. So Rachel Green, a solo block on Ljungqvist.
She'll look back on the tape on this one day and say, wow, I can't believe I stuffed Ljungqvist.
Well, she got her. BYU with another point to 8-3. Can they go to 9-3? Not here. Ljungqvist hanging around.
It's a miss hit there. Rachel Green didn't even hit it. The set was over the net, and Ljungqvist just pounced it right back.
But Holly, you notice how active suddenly this player, number 9, Ljungqvist, is. She's everywhere.
She has a way of doing that. She has no weakness in her game. We said it before, but it's definitely true.
Big by Crawford. It's playable. Robbins on the bum set. Free ball for BYU. Johnson telegraphed that one a little bit. BYU in transition. It's Johnson again. Crawford with the dig. Robbins is blocked, still alive. Another free ball for the Cougars. Here's Johnson again. She's roofed. Goods and Amo.
Johnson hesitated on that approach. I don't know if you can see it on the replay, but right here, look, she's kind of hesitating. She goes up maybe not as ferociously as she usually does. Hits it right into the 5'8" Amo and is roofed.
Yellow card on Smith, the BYU setter. That's a warning. There's Verna Klubnik, the down official. Just a warning. No points taken away. It was on Smith, the setter of Brigham Young. Here's the back set to Green, and again BYU covers. And so does Hawaii, and Robbins spanks it long. Was there a touch? Hawaii's pleading its case. They don't win the argument.
All of the Hawaii players, they're begging for a touch. I didn't see one. It's hard from that angle, but the ball did not change trajectory. Sometimes that's the best way to see if the ball was touched, is if it changes shift in course.
Well, there's 50 years of experience in these two officials. Sue Lemaire, the up referee, has been working the volleyball fraternity for 30 years, and there's Sue.
Now they're saying that Hawaii is out of rotation. They're out of position. They get things straightened back around.
Verna Klubnik, and the down official, down referee, has been around volleyball for 20 years. There's Verna. So they straighten out everything. BYU serves with an 8-4 lead. That one's blocked wide. Side out Hawaii. Jocelyn Robbins overpowering the block.
I think if this Hawaii team has a weakness, it's playing from behind. They haven't had to do it this year, Randy, when they haven't been down enough to have that game experience of how to come back and how to forge back.
A loss could be costly to Hawaii. They would like to host the regionals. There's a good serve. If they lose here, they'd probably go on the road.
I think the NCAA would like to keep them at home because they get the highest attendance in the country. It's good for the tournament.
Although, you know, there's been a sense that it's easier for Hawaii to play away from the home crowd. There was a touch on that last play. More pressure on Hawaii when they play at home. These players are so well known. They average 8,000 a game, set all kinds of attendance records, and sometimes the pressure at home is greater than that on the road. 5 serving 8. And another chance for Hawaii because BYU did not play that well in the deep court. Can Hawaii put it down? Not here. Now they do as Goods puts it away. And it's a 2-point game. BYU's lead is slipping away.
Annalena Smith trips on her own player trying to get to that ball. Nearly kicked Caroline Steuer in the head. Watch this. Running after it, and she kind of knees Steuer.
And Hawaii feels they can wear down BYU. Can the Cougars push through? Goods with the block. Free ball Hawaii. Looking to get their 7th point of the game. Robbins. And she hit it wide.
Okay, you can see this is getting a little bit out of control. The players are starting to dictate what's happening. They're talking so much to the officials. The officials just need to settle the players down, take control of the match.
And Goods, a miss hit. Sliding out, had a good look at it, but just hit him very long.
Right here, she had a nice approach, just too much power.
Well, BYU fighting back. Crawford, the back row attack.
Beautiful. That's what you call down the pipe. She comes out of the B position in the back row. And look at this. Beautiful. The block had no chance of getting there. Amy Steele made a valiant effort to try to get that ball up. Just was uncontrollable.
Soft block for Hawaii. They control to Crawford, who tools it off the block. THERESE Crawford, who was cold just moments ago, starting to feel a little bit better about herself. Her last 3 or 4 attacks have been very positive.
Crawford is so powerful. She brings so much to the Hawaii offense.
Ljungqvist able to cover the tip. Can Crawford do it again? She's blocked. BYU has the free ball. Steuer on the attack. Got it. Caroline Steuer. Side out, Brigham Young.
I'm impressed with how BYU is performing, Randy. They are so young, but they're playing very mature right now. Steuer, you know, you've got a free ball. You have everyone looking at you. It's very easy to make a hitting error in that situation, but she doesn't, puts it down.
I'm impressed with their stamina after that 2.5-hour marathon last night. Crawford paints another winner, getting by San Diego State. These Cougars are out there on the prowl again.
Bad decision by Gail Johnson right here. Look at this. She thinks it's out. Barrels it right inside the line.
Well, that's the positive sign right now for Hawaii. Crawford is getting hot after that very cold spell. Overpass, and Steuer straight down.
You see the decision Steuer makes on this. She sees the blockers up. She sees where there's a hole. Robin Amo has gone down to her knees, and so she just pipes it down that way.
Corey Rogers with the serve. Nobriga got it through the block. Chastity Nobriga, the senior from Pearl City, Hawaii.
BYU still being hurt a little bit on cover. You see right there, that ball is just over the heads of the blockers. Petrilli didn't get up quick enough.
Steuer again, dug by Robbins. Here's Crawford. Hawaii will have another swing. Ljungqvist, forget it.
Those are words you don't want to hear if you're a BYU fan. Hawaii has another swing, especially when it's coming from Ljungqvist. Watch her slide over. The blockers couldn't get far enough outside to the antenna to even be good defensively.
Hawaii serving for the tie. Steuer will take it. She got a break there as Jocelyn Robbins hit a ball that was apparently long.
Well, they did call a touch at the net, though, so she had to try something because she had seen one of her teammates hit it at the net.
The dump. Mo, that's all she could do, is that first pass was very high on the net. So instead of trying to pass it back, she dumped it down.
It's a good decision. You can see right here how tight it is to the net. So she just slam dunks it. I think BYU hasn't done a great job reading the dump and the tip tonight. They've had a weakness.
Is in. There's Crawford, who's heated up for Dave Shoji. Lee serving. Lee digging. That won't work. Double contact on Obriga. Why's had a number of ball control errors in this match.
Had several double hits called. Mistakes that you don't usually see a Hawaii team making.
Lee with not a good pass. And an opportunity for BYU to get to 10. And Johnson again tools the block. 10-8 for the Cougars.
Gail Johnson loves to use the blockers. Watch how she uses the blockers to her advantage. She's hitting it right into her hands. She wants it to hit right back out of bounds.
And again, Lee has trouble handling the serve. Outside, Robbins tips. BYU another opportunity to score. Yamashita with the dig. Robbins. Side out Hawaii, and they needed it.
Hawaii is such a quick team. They are also athletic that I question BYU going to the tip so often because Hawaii's been getting there. It hasn't been effective. That time it gave them a second chance to get into their offense, and they got the ball.
Well, BYU has Junquist in the back row. Let's see if they attack that front row, and Johnson tips over it.
Okay, I was wrong. The tip did work. When I'm wrong, I'll say it. That time the tip worked to perfection.
They get those big blockers up in the air, and you can see what they're trying to do. Just tap it over them. They serve Junquist, and Goods drives it through.
That's part of a strategy move, to serve the hitter, serve Junquist, try to make her handle the ball. But that time it didn't work because Junquist came up with a great pass, and then Sia Goods put it down.
Yeah, she's really improved, Junquist, in her passing and serve receive. Junquist with the dig. Robbins with the tip.
BYU is sitting back on the back row and not covering in those situations. They have been caught so many times with that, Randy.
Oh,
Watch
Hawaii,
this.
look at this. This is good. This is just good offensive play.
Right, but watch. Huge hole in the middle. 3 players standing there.
Dig, and a net violation on Hawaii. And it was Sia Goods that hit the net.
BYU holds on to a slim lead.
Serving and leading 10-9 of the Cougars, tied at a set apiece. Turnaround spike. Goods with excellent judgment, knowing that she could go up with the great springs and drive it off the block.
You know, I wonder how much this floor is affecting the leaping because it's so hard. There's no bounce, no give to the floor.
It is not a forgiving surface. You don't want to go down hard on this hard court. Dig by Junquist. A lot of off-speed shots for Hawaii. That one's wide, barreless.
Boy, talk about the hair of your chinny chin chin. That was so close on the line right there. BYU did a good job there to get out of the way, let the officials make the call.
Green serve is long.
Rachel Green came up with 2 big service aces last night. She doesn't play a lot in the back row. It was a career high for her.
Or even a mistake serving. I think BYU has to be very pleased with their performance so far against one of the premier programs in the country. That one's through. Corey Rogers winding up and killing it.
Well, this is a wonderful showcase for WAC volleyball. It shows you the high quality of teams. Maybe BYU hasn't gotten the national recognition this year, but they are a quality team.
That one's tipped off the block.
Smart.
Both teams have settled down now. They're siding out. It's become a side-out game.
You could see Therese Crawford there. She just very gently, with a swipe, pushed her fingertips back the other direction and wiped it gently.
Hawaii with the block on Steele. Chance for the Rainbow Wahine, but Amo got caught up in the net.
Chastity Obriga passes the ball right into the net, and Amo could not recover. You don't see that happen to Amo very often, though, Randy.
Well, Caroline STEUER will serve. Her sister, Brittany, throws the javelin on the BYU track team. Steele is blocked. Ljungqvist is waiting for it. Well, that time, Ljungqvist got the better of Steele.
Ljungqvist is into this. After this block, look at her reaction here. She says, all right, that's what we need to be doing. She doesn't want Amy Steele to have the better game.
That attack, a rare miss for Johnson. We're even at 10. Rainbow Wahine has tied it. And another yellow card. And Ljungqvist, the co-captain's able to go over and talk to the chair.
What happened there is it looked like Amo said something to Annalena Smith, and Annalena Smith looked at the official and said, hey, wait a minute. She is talking to me like she shouldn't be.
Amo is the co-captain with Ljungqvist. The captains are allowed to talk to the official in the chair. There's a timeout for BYU.
Well, BYU and San Diego State had a very heated match last night, a big rivalry. And I sense maybe a little some of that developing right now because I think Hawaii's maybe a little surprised at how BYU's come out and played.
Well, the Cougars are number 25 in the country and getting better, and they're on a roll, 22 straight. As they've reached the finals of the WAC. Elaine Michaelis has a team that she's very encouraged by. She loves the chemistry of the squad, the youth of the squad. I think that's what's got to please her here. The future is very bright for the Cougars. It has been an interesting tournament. The favorites have been able to get through, haven't they, Holly?
That's true. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 last night in the semifinals. Hawaii having a very easy time of things, but BYU battling. They dropped a game against CSU, and then last night it was a classic showdown against San Diego State. It was all at the net. Both teams hit for under 200, which you don't see happen very often, and it was one for the books.
Yeah, that one went about 2.5 hours.
What's interesting, it was 2.5 hours, but it was only 4 games.
Yeah, didn't get to that fifth and point per play game. Well, Ljungqvist still hitting .357 for Hawaii. And Gail Johnson hitting .324 for the Cougars, has 18 kills. At 37 attacks, they're getting her the ball. She's the focal point of the Cougar offense. 10 is the tie. Game 3, deadlocked at a game apiece. There's the 18 kills for Gail Johnson. And again, it's the number of attacks. She's been in the spotlight, and she's come through. Crawford to serve. Can Hawaii get the advantage in game 3? They have an opportunity. Amo setting outside to Robbins, and Hawaii leads.
Beautiful arm swing. Robbins brings the heat. Watch that. I mean, she gets the blockers up. She's got 2 blockers on her, but look at how she rifles that. Finds the gap, and boy, that was powerful.
Hostile environment for BYU. Many Hawaii fans cheering their team on. Another chance for Hawaii with the ball control from the deep court. Crawford. BYU digs. Another free ball for Hawaii to attack in transition. Robbins.
2 big kills for Jocelyn Robbins back to back. BYU is having the opportunity, and they're not going for the killer instinct.
Well, the momentum all on the side of the green and white.
Well, it's gotten this crowd back into it. You know, it's interesting. Hawaii has been a very noisy crowd. Last night against New Mexico, they were up, they were into it, but they've been silent. They've been sitting on their hands until right now. All it takes is Jocelyn Robbins finding the seam and getting this crowd back into it.
Hawaii, 31-1. They were 31-1 last year. Volleyball, a rich tradition in Honolulu. They don't lose very often, obviously, winning 62 of their last 64. And the Bows are everybody's favorite in Honolulu, aren't they?
Well, it's interesting. They led the nation in attendance this year. They had over 8,000 fans per match. The number 2 team was Nebraska, and they had only over 3,000. So you can see the huge gap there in attendance.
I like that outfit, huh? That's good for Halloween.
I wonder if you can call him an airhead, though.
Well, the blue and white's not doing too badly. That's not Theresa Crawford, though. That's Cosmo, and Theresa Crawford's had a great match. At least the one down game for Crawford was game 2. Game 3, she's really spearheaded Hawaii's attack.
Oh, she's got back into it, and I think that's been one of the keys for Hawaii because she's so powerful offensively, and they have to have her in there.
There are the numbers. You see the 167. She had a spell where she went right in the tank. Tough serve. Steele off the block, side out Brigham Young. Much needed. You want to get that side out after the timeout.
Very important. It came off of a very bad pass. BYU had a bad pass on that serve, but they were able to make the best of it.
Amo back setting Ljungqvist.
Ljungqvist on the line. She goes with that very sharp cross-court angle. It's a back cut for her.
Perfect complement of players around Ljungqvist, the All-American center Amo, and a lot of role players. This is the kind of team that is fully capable of winning the national title. But BYU, to their credit, has hung so tough against one of the elite teams. That one's jammed down by Rachel Green.
Those long arms. Rachel Green has such great leaping ability. She's got the long arms, and she's made a lot of tough plays. Excuse me, at the net.
Choked up, huh? It's been that kind of match.
Getting a little emotional.
Goods, block back, sets Robbins. That's a great job by Goods setting cross court. Obviously, she's a middle blocker, and she set that ball beautifully to the other antenna.
Sia Goods has been quiet in game 3, but watch what she does here. Look how high that set is. It's especially important because with a set that high and that long, the blockers are in position, but she got it down anyway.
Almost served. One arm dig. Not quite good enough, but a great effort by Crawford. Well, BYU, they've sided out here, but they haven't scored in a while. Johnson back behind the line. Let's see if the Cougars can get back on the board. They're down by 2. And they do with the block. Rachel Green, Caroline Steuer get up on that net.
BYU is so solid at the net. Even when Amy Steele is not in the front, Rachel Green, Steuer, and Rogers, boy, they are unbeatable.
Robbins, a soft block for BYU. They're swinging for a tie with Steuer. Their roof. Goods got up with no Brigham. Sia Goods has been so steady for Hawaii.
Watch this. It was a nice arm swing, but off the block, it just bounces into that wide open corner of the court.
Hawaii, a little bit better blocking. Here's a combination, and the Cougars going to number 8, Caroline Steuer. The redshirt freshman comes through.
She goes straight down the pipe. Watch this. She can see she's got blockers up, but she finds that tiny space in between the arms and puts it down.
Green serves Ljungqvist. Amo off to Nobriga. Dink is down.
The block was up, and they were vulnerable to that tip over their heads. Amy Steele tried to get a fist on it.
Well, this championship match has been so good. Again, the X-play. Caroline Steuer killed it.
Steuer comes up with 2 big kills right down the stretch off the X-play, Randy. It's been successful for BYU in the last 3 offensive series.
Well, this is what the WAC wanted, competition for Hawaii. Most people felt they'd just run right through this tournament, but not today. Here's an overpass, and still kills it for Brigham Young. And BYU right there with Hawaii at 12 all.
Amy Steele reads the floor well. You see how every single Hawaii player was over on that left side.
Lori Rogers with the long serve.
Service errors at this point, Randy, are critical.
First time in the match for Wendy Midgley, a sophomore from Bountiful, Utah.
I grew up next door neighbors with Wendy. Great family, the Midgleys.
Steele steps out, drives it off the block. Well, BYU gunning for the lead.
Nice slide. She does a good job of hitting it hard enough to go off the fingertips of Ljungqvist. This is a great one-on-one matchup with Steele and Ljungqvist.
Almost setting outside Ljungqvist. That's one All-American feeding another. Number 1, Robin Amo. Number 1 setter in America. Most people feel she can make the United States national team in the years to come as a back row specialist. Maybe a little bit too small to be a setter on the national team, but we'll see. Here's Amo setting outside Robbins. And there was a touch. Hawaii's fans will like this call.
That's interesting. I didn't see a BYU player close to the ball. Let's see if we can see where it was touched. Oh yeah, at the net. Amy Steele.
Hawaii 13-12. They lead. Johnson got it.
Well, BYU has not been a wallflower, Randy. They have not wilted by any means in this tough competitive match. Look at that. Great approach. Lays out for the arm swing.
They're very much a part of this match with a great chance to win. Back set, Ljungqvist off speed. Cougars cover. Midgley sets Johnson. Johnson is dug by Goods. Deep court attack, Crawford. She hit it out.
This has got to be nerve-wracking for Wendy Midgley to come into this match. She doesn't play much. She hasn't played much all year. But because of substitution problems with ANDREA PETRILLI, Petrilli's been in already her 3 times for this game. So they brought Midgley in. And right there you can see she comes up with a nice set. She sets a lot in practice. She is a setter. And does a great job getting thrown into the fire there.
We're tied at 13 in game 3. Best 3 out of 5. And Hawaii getting a real test from Brigham Young.
This has got to be good for Hawaii in a lot of ways, Randy, because they need some kind of a test going into the NCAA tournament. It's a cliche, but a reality check is always helpful going into the postseason, so they don't have the kind of letdown they had last year. They go the whole time without losing a match. We do have some kind of injury problems here. It looks like Jocelyn Robbins has a twisted ankle. She's in tears.
She is a tough outside attacker for Hawaii. Oh, if she is unable to play, that would take away one of the guns of the Rainbow Wahine as you try to work it off. See that brace there. A lot of the players are wearing that now to strengthen the ankles, but it appears that she's going to try to go with that ankle. She's in there, isn't she? She's a tough kid.
She's in tears. You know she's got to be hurting, but she's going to gut it out.
Hey, this is the WAC Championship. You want to win the title. Tied at 13. BYU serving. Here's Ljungqvist. Ruth and BYU is serving for the game.
BYU at the net, Randy, has been phenomenal in the last 2 games. Look at this. Beautiful block. Rachel Green has been great.
Robbins, despite the ankle, hit it long. And BYU's up 2 games to 1, winning 15-13 in game 3. So Hawaii is going to be stretched to the limit in this one. Let's take a look at game point.
Right here, beautiful close. You could see the block was there. She tried to hit over the block, and as a result, hit it out.
It is BYU that captures that vital 3rd game. If Hawaii is going to win the WAC title, they must steal 2 games from the Cougars. Well, the Cougar fans have something to celebrate. BYU, after dropping game 1, they lost game 1 15-6 to Hawaii, has stormed back again 15-11 and 15-13. What does Elaine Michaelis, Holly Rose, say to her team after losing these first games?
She tells you, I told you so. I told you you could play with this team. She was very confident, quietly confident last night in the press conference. And I think it just was a matter of time for the team to come out and play and realize, hey, we can play against anybody.
Oh, again, BYU lost their first game in the quarters to Colorado State. They lost to the semis in the first game, and each time won 3 straight. They're trying to do it again. What about the numbers after 3 games?
Well, it's interesting how it's evened out. You see the kill percentage there. UH is 232, and BYU has finally crept ahead of them for 267. The blocks are very even, and the errors, 14 for Hawaii. That's huge.
Too many mistakes by Dave Soji's team. How can Hawaii Hawaii come back, or will it be BYU that wins the inaugural Western Athletic Conference Women's Tournament at the MGM Grand Garden? We're at the Garden, huh? The MGM Grand Garden. BYU puts it in play, stepping around and killing it is Yoonquest.
Elaine Michaelis said last night, being here makes you think of boxing, and it's just like two fighters slugging it out here today.
There are a couple heavyweights, no question about that. And like Tyson, who is the favored team is trailing. There's a kill for Corey Rogers.
Rogers with her 11th kill tonight. She's hitting 500, which is very good for the Cougars. Watch this. She does a quick approach. She's able to get the hands of the blockers.
And an ace serve for Corey Rogers. Corey Rogers from Poway, California. Exceptional athlete, great jumper, solid blocking technique. Second in the all-conference team of the Mountain Division, serving tough for the Cougars. Crawford dug over the net, but it was Smith of BYU that scraped the net. There she is.
She just got a little bit too excited. She was trying to help out, make something happen. I don't think she realized that ball was over the net. She didn't need to be in the net.
Robbins comes back in as she replaces Cordray. Steuer putting it down.
Caroline Steuer has been a great threat for the Cougars tonight, Randy.
Oh, she's a young player that's getting better with every match.
Look at this. She's clear outside the antenna. She goes with a cross-court angle and buries it.
Serving down the line at Crawford. And Yoonquest ascending above all.
It's what Hawaii has to do more of. Go to their big gun. Angelica Yoonquest, probably the player of the year. They've got to be using her more here.
She's approaching 20 kills in the match. And she's a .440 hitter, third in the nation in hitting. And an ace for Yoonquest. You know, one time this year, she was #1 in the country in hitting and blocking. That's hard to fathom.
And kills. At one time, she led the nation in 3 statistical categories.
Tipped over. Hawaii waiting for that. Here's Robbins. She's got it. Point Hawaii.
Robbins really toughing it out there with the sore ankle. Right here, we can't see her. She's just out of the screen. She had a very nice approach on that.
Steele on that attack in the middle, and she missed it. Another point for the Rainbow Wahine.
Haven't seen very many hitting errors from BYU. They committed a couple to start this game.
Well, Hawaii needs the game to stretch it to 5. Smith dumps. This time it's covered by Nobriga. Another free ball for the Cougars. Steele on the step out. Got it. Off the block.
She'll do a lateral wipe off the hands of the blockers. It all starts out with a good pass. You get a good pass, a good set, and Steele is able to convert.
Here's a chance, and it's put away by Green. Tough serve to start it by Amy Steele.
Rachel Green has been fabulous in that front row. She was the 1995 UBSC Player of the Year, and you can see why. She has been probably the silent factor.
That one didn't clear the net. Another point for the Cougars. Well, BYU erases the 3-1 deficit. Robbins struggling on her receiving of the serve. That's why the Cougars have come back. Robbins not playing well. Here's her attack. She's dug by Steele. Chance for BYU with Johnson. Long rally. Can Hawaii side out? Robbins goes to put it away and can't. Dug over the net, but Goods is there. She's dug brilliantly by Steuer. Amo. And Amo went into the net.
That is a huge rally for BYU. Right here, let's see. Looked like her hand brushed the net as she came down trying to dump that ball.
BYU leading it 4-3 and serving tough. And a block. Rachel Green and Smith there too.
At the beginning of this this week, Rachel Green was 6th in the WAC in blocks. And she has been, I think, the X factor in this. I don't think we counted on her to be a big player, but she has been very quietly getting it done for BYU.
Well, this serve is very tough right now for BYU, and the passing is breaking down for Hawaii, and it's easy in the middle for the Cougars as Rachel Green sticks a winner in, and suddenly BYU is beating Hawaii 6-3.
Rachel Green wanted to be a cheerleader or a dancer growing up. They said, you're too tall to do that, go into sports, and boy, is Elaine Michaelis glad she did.
Well, Hawaii is teetering. They're 31-1, but these Cougars, they have something to say about who might win the WAC crown. Rachel Green has come up big for the Cougars as they try to upset Hawaii and win the WAC crown. The 7 blocks, huge for Green. Goods is done. Chance again for Green. With the left hand, Nobriga able to cover. Robbins off speed, gets it down.
BYU players have to talk on that. Both players were going for it, and I think kind of hesitated at the end, thinking the other one was going to get that ball.
Well, Hawaii needed that side out. BYU running off a flurry of points. That one's blocked down. Sia Goods. She's so tough. Point for Hawaii. They're within 2, and they put it back in play. Well, Hawaii quickly reading the block, getting over on Johnson. And here's a chance for Hawaii to score if they can set up nicely. Robbins. Oh, a miss hit on Robbins' part. She's struggling, and I wonder if it's the left ankle. She's not received well. She seems to be off balance.
She is a little off balance, but I think it's more mental than anything. Right here, she's trying so hard to overcome and maybe overcompensate for the injury that she's making some mental errors.
Well, her confidence down a little bit. BYU covers the tip. They can score. And they do. Hawaii went into the net. It was Nobriga that hit the net. Right into the twines for Chastity.
What's amazing is BYU is so calm right now. This is huge. I mean, they're just playing like no big deal.
But it's Hawaii breaking down, passing poorly, and then over the pass. It was just stuck right back down by the Cougars. 8-4 for BYU. This Hawaii crowd very antsy.
Very quiet.
BYU is out playing Hawaii. Another chance for the Cougars. Smith setting outside to Johnson. Got it.
Gail Johnson puts the hit down and then whacks the tightrope so she doesn't get into the net. Watch this. High outside set. The blockers can't get there in time. Gail Johnson has been a force tonight, Randy.
Jennifer Roberts into the front line.
Look at that,
Trying
22.
to stop Gail Johnson. There's Roberts, just entered, replacing Goods. And again, there it is. Hawaii's just falling apart passing the ball. It's just not good. You don't pass, you don't win. Rogers, Johnson on the tip. Robbins, she's done. Nice play by Steuer. Green, and a long rally. Robbins again hitting the antenna. That's out. That's another point for Brigham Young.
Well, Hawaii's not passing well, Randy, but you've got to give the Cougars the credit. They have been hammering away. They're blocking up the net. They're frustrating Hawaii. Nothing is working for them right now.
It is all Brigham Young. Elaine Michaels all smiles. Dave Soji can't understand what's going on. Hawaii number 3 in the country in one poll. Number 1 in America in the Volleyball Magazine poll. Yeah, this would be a shocking development as BYU looks for its 23rd consecutive win, getting ready for the NCAA tournament. Can Hawaii rally? But Gail Johnson has been so good for the Cougars. Well, both teams came in knowing that they had to be very accurate with their hitting. BYU's been okay in game 4. Hawaii's passing has not given the hitters a chance to attack.
I'm just checking here. The last time Hawaii dropped a game, or the game that they've dropped the worst, it was 6-15. So that's the lowest they have scored in a game this year. And right now BYU's got them at 10-4.
Well, the one loss for Hawaii was home to Stanford. They lost that game in 4. And that was the team that beat them 15-6, the one game that Holly was alluding to. That was in front of over 10,000 fans in Hawaii. Stanford came in there. Hawaii played poorly. Well, Hawaii's passing has really broken down in game 4. Hawaii played okay in the last 2 games they lost. Give all the credit in the world to BYU, but in game 4, Hawaii is really helping out matters. And BYU taking full advantage, looking for point 11. Roberts just got it through. Side out Hawaii. Dave Soji looking for answers with Roberts in the front row with the Illustre.
Well, he's taken out a couple of players. He's taken out Chastity Nobriga and Jocelyn Robbins. He's going to try some other people. They're not getting it done.
Got Kelly Cordray in serving. Johnson, she hit it wide. Point Hawaii.
Right here you can see, boy, it almost looked like that was touched at the net.
That one's down. Corey Rogers, quick attack in the middle.
BYU has been famous for their quick attack in the middle. They haven't gone to it a lot tonight because obviously Ljungqvist in the middle. So now that she's on the back row, they're going to take advantage of that.
Crawford pounding away. Well, BYU has Hawaii where they want them. They have them down 2 games to 1 and 10-5. They have Hawaii with a patchwork lineup as Dave Soji looking for answers, and he brings back Yamashita as Roberts goes out, that back row specialist.
This sums up how bad things are going for Hawaii right now. Ljungqvist and Crawford just tried to give each other 5, and they missed hands and kind of laughed like, oh dear, we can't even give each other 5.
Oh, Steuer with the spike. And PETRILLI in. There you see Green going out. PETRILLI will play on the backcourt and serve for BYU. BYU wins the game. They win the match. Ljungqvist sliding out and putting it in the corner. She is so deadly accurate.
They've got to get to her more. BYU's done a good job of playing around her, and you can see her split that seam. She goes every which way. She can hit anything.
Rogers just got that one through the block attempt of Ljungqvist and Crawford. In fact, it did not get over. It is blocked down. Yeah, it did come back and hit her.
Back her way.
And it's a point for Hawaii, and then the passing breaks down for BYU. First time they've given a point away in a while.
Hitting error by ANDREA PETRILLI. That's her second one. When she has to hit out of the back row, she's just safer to bump it over instead of trying to hit it.
Well, you get the sense now Hawaii starting to get some confidence, down 7-10. Steuer driving it off the block. The tool gives it back to Brigham Young.
Talk about a facial on that one, Randy. She smacks Ljungqvist right in the eye. Ljungqvist asks her teammates to check her out and see if she's okay. Look at this. Ching, right off the face. Boy, even the Hawaii dancer, Warren, that you were talking about earlier, he's sitting down. He's on his fanny. He's
exhausted. Corey Rogers has served so well today for Brigham Young. 11-7 for the Cougars. Those are good numbers in Las Vegas. 11-7. BYU serving and leading. Ljungqvist, another winner. She is unquestionably the go-to player. Wants to be a prosecutor. She likes law. She's laying down the law on this court.
They've got to go to her. She is really their go-to person, emotionally and physically.
Ball control for Hawaii. Ljungqvist, well, there she goes again. Dug by PETRILLI. And Amy Steele nails it at the net.
You see what happened there, Randy? Amy Steele knew that Ljungqvist was still on the outside left of the antenna. So she said, quick, give it to me in the middle, and I'll find that seam when Ljungqvist isn't there.
Steuer serving at 11-7. And again, Hawaii having trouble with the BYU serve. Steele's got it. BYU leads by 5.
Deep corner, Amy Steele on that slide. She could see that the blocker had no way of getting out to cover line, so she took it.
Cougars serving tough. Unquest tooling again. It's nice to have the player of the year on your side to bail you out in these critical situations.
You know, in all fairness, though, we shouldn't give her a coronation just yet because BYU has made an awfully strong case for a few players of their own. There's a lot of matches left to play in this season with the NCAA tournament looming in the next couple of weeks.
That one's hit long. Point to Hawaii. Always tough, though, to close out a team like Hawaii. They're not accustomed to losing, and they'll fight to the bitter end. Here's another chance for Hawaii to score. Cordray is softly blocked, and Smith dumps it down smartly.
Annalena Smith, what composure. I mean, she's 18 years old, Randy, and look at this. She can see the blockers are flat-footed. They're not going up. They're not watching a setter. 4 kills for Annalena.
Roberts shooting one through for the first time today. That's a young player, a freshman from Huntington Beach, California.
Beautiful. The block just wasn't there for the Cougars, and Roberts fires it. She's got a nice arm swing.
That's why she's in there. And no break after a nice rest is back in. There's Chastity. Smith setting to Johnson, but she's trapped. Had no chance on the far side. No Brigger was waiting for it.
Well, like Roberts, she has come in and done some nice things. She gets a kill. She's in on an assist there for the block. That's why you go to your bench when you're down. Try to find some kind of chemistry.
Johnson again gets this one through.
This time, Gale says, I think I'll try a different approach. I'll find the seam and use your arms out of bounds.
I think I'll hit it harder.
23 kills for Gale Johnson. That's huge against this caliber of team.
Well, Rainey Rogers has the most in the tournament. She had 29 kills for Colorado State earlier in the week. Long rally. Out of the backcourt, Steele attacks. She's dug by Crawford. Here's Unquest from the deep court. She's dug by Steele. Very tight pass. Johnson couldn't do anything with it. She's blocked again. Very long rally. Johnson again. Dinking, not down. Covered by Hawaii. That one's killed. Cordray, Kelly Cordray. And that one got Hawaii's fans into it.
Kelly Cordray, just a sophomore, comes in off the bench. We've seen 2 players off the bench starting to make a real contribution here for Hawaii.
9, serving 12. Hawaii fighting back. Johnson tipping, covered. Chance for the Rainbow Wahine to score. Crawford can't get it. Rachel Green does.
Excellent play. The real hero on that, Annalena Smith. She had to do the limbo under the net, punch that ball up to give her a chance. You see that? She gets the ball in the right spot for Rachel Green.
The limbo, another Hawaiian dance. Crawford really getting up, hammering away. Great vertical leap for Therese Crawford.
She's so athletic, and the thing I love about her, she's a very slender person. She's tiny, but she has so much power. She's very deceiving.
Yamashita serves. STEUER is blocked. Back set for Corey Rogers, who's worked. Crawford and Unquest.
Boy, the determination on Unquist's face. She got out to that antenna to the left. Gets over. Look at her.
Great player for Dave Soji. And Unquest bringing Hawaii back to within 2. This is the championship match. Western Athletic Conference championship match. 12-10 for BYU. They're up 2 games to 1. Automatic berth at stake, although there's no question that both these teams will get into the NCAA tournament. It is questionable about San Diego State, but I think they'll probably get in. They had a very tough schedule. As once again, we look at Warren Epps do his thing, dancing for the Rainbow Wahine faithful. What about Colorado State or New Mexico? Will a 4th or a 5th team get in from the WAC?
I think they could have if they would have finished out the year better, but Colorado State did not finish out that strong. They lost in the first round of the tournament, or excuse me, the second round of the tournament. They had a couple of losses to Hawaii, San Diego State, and Wyoming in the last 2 weeks of the season. And New Mexico, they've had, I think, four losses down the stretch. No, make that 2 losses down the stretch to BYU and then to Hawaii. So I think that limits, you know, a lot of times the tournament, they look at how you're doing right now and if you're any kind of streaks, and I think that hurts the WAC.
Yeah, New Mexico wasn't all that competitive against Hawaii. They were just slaughtered by the Rainbow Wahine, so that might hurt their chances. Mahalo. Well, the Rainbow Wahine fighting back. Cordray, who had that big kill. Here's Yamashita serving. Down by 2. Cougars need a side out. And they'll get it with the redshirt freshman Caroline Steuer.
Boy, the players looked around on that one. They didn't even know what had happened, which side of the net the ball had come down on. Look at this. Hard against Youngquist, and it goes right through her arms. Caroline Steuer finding daylight in that big block.
And ANDREA finding hands. Side out Hawaii. Where they have stopped BYU. The Cougars got to 12 in a hurry, and then they've gone dead in the water. Hawaii has turned it around. Suddenly they're passing better. It had broken down earlier in the game. Youngquist again hanging around that net. And that hit is long. No touch. Point Hawaii. They're within 1. And here comes the Rainbow Wahine. The Express is on the way. Serving to tie the game. They have the tie as Crawford puts away the overpass.
Nope,
now they really came over. Crawford, the violation, and now she just realizes it.
The captain, Youngquist, goes over to the official and says, what happened? They're totally surprised by that call.
That's a bad call.
Oh, that is bad. I don't think she was in the net.
BYU holding on to its lead. That may have been a vital mistake. Here's another overpass, and this time Crawford hammers it.
That was a mistake by Rogers. She needed to just leave that ball, pass it to the setter instead of trying to get it over. It's easy to say from this position, Randy, but she wanted to set that up and get that into an offensive series.
Sia Goods has been out for a long time for Hawaii, but despite her absence, the Rainbow Wahine is rallying. Wendy Midgley brought back in. I think it should be a liberal substitution. You know, you have to sit on the sideline and count who's in and out, and it takes time. Youngquist has got a yellow card for barking on that last call. Again, a yellow card is a warning. Steuer with another kill.
Caroline Steuer, we've said it before, but she's a sophomore, Randy. She is playing like all world right now. She's been so instrumental down the stretch. And again, she's going up against that huge block.
Back set, not a good set. And BYU able to run it down. Youngquist again on the step out. Puts it away.
Youngquist is so determined. She's been fired up and really trying to emotionally get this Hawaii team into things.
Youngquist plays hard all the time, but she's really stepped it up in recent moments, and she's up to 22 putaways. And serving. Johnson, and she puts one through. Gale's had a splendid match.
Got 2 short players in the front row right now. Kelly Corday at 5'10", Robin Amo at 5'8", 5'9", and Johnson's just going to go right over the top of him.
Side out Hawaii on the service error. Rainbow Wahine again serving for the deadlock. They're down by 1, down by a game. And a service error. And BYU gets it right back. Amo hit it too long.
It's pressure that Hawaii is not used to. They've won so many matches this year by huge margins. There you see the service errors. BYU with 7, Hawaii not far behind with 6.
And the Cougars get to that elusive 13. Goods, who's back in, just tips it over. Here's a chance for BYU. No, the block by Nobriga. Well, Hawaii suddenly is coming up with the big plays when they were just on the edge.
Look at this. Nobriga closes out, seals the block nicely.
Cordray serve. But BYU passes well. Johnson again through the block. It all starts with that first pass, doesn't it, Holly?
It's got to be there. Your whole offense depends on it.
Well, BYU's been stuck on a dozen for a long time. Seems like light years. Nobriga, pancake dig attempt, no. Side out Hawaii.
Boy, Gail Johnson is fierce right now. She is pleading with her teammates every time she sees them going for something. She's like, get there, get there.
Well, Hawaii said they could wear down BYU. I don't know. That one's sailing wide.
There was no chance on that angle. She's so far outside of the antenna. She doesn't have anywhere to go.
Ilustre in for Nobriga. There's Heidi. This is Rachel Green back behind the line to serve. BYU again looking for the 13th point of the 4th game. And they have a chance here because it's an ace. They have the 13th point.
So Rachel Green, our silent hero, comes up again. She has been huge for the Cougars today, Randy.
2 points for the match for Brigham Young, and the aces starting to equal out a little bit. It was Hawaii early.
Gail Johnson is having some kind of a problem. She's asked for a Kleenex, or maybe it's her contact solution or something. Oh, she's got a bloody nose. Of all embarrassing times to come up with one of those.
Well, of course, if there's some blood showing, she's got to go to the sideline to make sure that's cleared up, and it is. Does she have $1 million smile or what?
Gail is great. She's the kind of player that we'll be sorry to see leave. We've really enjoyed watching her for the BYU Cougars.
Crawford on the attack. Great dig by Johnson. Marvelous play. Hawaii can't get it. It's match point for Brigham Young at 14-11. All started by the Johnson dig.
Look at this, and STEUER again finding daylight in that big Hawaii block.
Match point number 1 for Brigham Young. Green serve. And it ticks the net. And a reprieve for the moment for the Rainbow Wahine. Well, now Hawaii has to serve tough. Johnson with the pass. Dig by the Rainbow Wahine. Crawford is dug.
In the net.
But in the net goes BYU, and that'll cost them a point.
There was really no alternative. Annalena Smith either gets the ball over or is in the net. She can't come up with both.
Ilustre again to put it in. Right at Johnson. STEUER is done. Hawaii with another chance to score. They got it. Crawford nails it. And here comes Hawaii again, and BYU calls timeout.
Look at the power of Crawford. Solo block up for BYU. And you can't leave one blocker on Therese Crawford. She's too powerful and at times very accurate. Right here you can see the blockers just didn't get there. Corey Rogers backs off like she's going to cover instead of coming up to the net and putting her arms up.
Well, the young Cougars have grown up. They've had one match point, but Hawaii is still alive, and after this timeout, the Rainbow Wahine will be serving for the tie. There's no cap on these games. You have to win by 2.
Dave Shoji likes to think of himself as a sculptor, someone who can take raw ability and turn it into volleyball talent. I think he's done a pretty nice job with this team, don't you, Randy?
Oh, absolutely. These are 2 programs that just are so strong great records over the years.
STEUER, 13 kills tonight. Let me correct myself. I said she was a sophomore. She is a freshman. She's a redshirt freshman. Corey Rogers with 12. Gale Oborn-Johnson with 25. Amy Steele with 13. That's 4 Cougars in double figures in kills. And for Hawaii, the same thing. THERESE Crawford with 17 kills. Lundquist with 22. Jocelyn Robbins with 17. And Cecilia Goods, 10.
Well, there's the top 10, the ABCA USA Today poll. Keep in mind, Hawaii beat Florida earlier in the year. Big possibility here. If BYU can get the side out, they don't. Unquest with the stuff, and Hawaii has come all the way back to tie at 14. Rallying from 14-11 down. Trying to stretch this to a 5th and deciding game. Can they do it? BYU desperately needs a side out. Can't get it. Another roof by Unquest, who's taking over game 4. And now the Bows are serving for the game.
Credit Dave Shoji. He went to the bench, got some players in there who were going to play, and it's worked out for the Rainbow Wahine.
Rogers is dug. Hawaii with a swing for the game. They have it. The block by Rogers. Side out BYU.
Corey Rogers comes up big. Rogers and Steele on the tandem. And she wanted to make sure the officials saw that touch. You see that little exhorting there?
Can BYU tie it? Chance to do it with Steele, and she swatted it wide.
They say they're in the net. Hawaii was in the net.
Well, the attack was wide anyway. Another opportunity. No, it was Hawaii into the net. So BYU got the point. So Hawaii went into the net. It's tied at 15. Is that an ace or what? He didn't call it.
The line judge doesn't know. Replay.
Did not call it. Well, you can't call what you can't see. I mean, that's probably the right call, whether it was in or out.
Whoa, controversial, especially on such a huge match point.
Well, it's 15 all. They go to Unquest, and she delivers. She's unbelievable. She is flat out great.
Boy, she's a pleasure to watch.
But give these Cougars credit. They're right there with her and the rest of the Bows.
You can see Unquist there talking to her teammates. She is the leader. Robin Amo is the setter, but she's very quiet. She doesn't lead vocally. They look to Unquist.
Tied at 15. You must win by 2. Steele is done. The dump by Amo is in.
2 interesting calls. The up official would not make the call. She couldn't see it. So she goes to the line judge on the opposite side of the court. Let's see. It's on the line.
Definitely in, and Hawaii serving for the game. BYU looking to side out. STEUER is dug. Crawford is dug by Johnson. Here comes STEUER. Hawaii swinging for the game. Midgley with the dig. Long rally. Here goes Youngquist again. She's blocked. Youngquist again with the tip. It's dug up over by BYU. Hawaii began to celebrate, and it was dug over by the Cougars.
They didn't know what happened, Randy. They did not stay with the play and watch it to its continuation. Look at this spatula. Hand on the ground.
Great pancake dig.
Right here, Gail Johnson lays it out.
Unquest is dug. BYU looking for the tie. Down 15-60. Unquest again. Green handles it. Here's Steele going after it, and she's got it.
BYU very composed right now. They're not rattled. They're in the hugest match of their careers right now, and they're not rattled. Amy Steele, cool as ice, puts it into the deep corner.
STEUER trying to break the tie at 16. Midgley digs, but wide. Side out Hawaii.
How nerve-wracking for Wendy Midgley. Not much playing time. She has to come in a huge situation.
BYU does not want to go 5. They want to end it right here. Of course, Hawaii looking desperately to extend it to a 5th and deciding set. Unquest serving. Johnson has it sent back. Here goes Steele. She's done. Cordray on that sharp angle, and she missed it.
No touch on that. BYU had the block up, but it goes right between their arms. Watch this. She swings away at the line, and she goes too far to the left.
Steele serving long. Still tied at 16. Who will get the upper hand in this fourth game?
Well, this is exciting, Randy.
Yeah, we're glad you're with us. Yeah.
You sound very calm, but I'm dying over here.
Palms sweaty?
Just about.
Oh, we saw a long one last night with BYU outlasting San Diego State in 4. They're trying to do it to Hawaii. Outside, Nobriga tips. Almost setting again. Cordray dug by Midgewood. Johnson tips. A lot of tipping now. Another long rally. Green is dug. Johnson.
Oh my gosh.
She hit it long.
Wow.
Rainbow Wahine leads by 1.
Let's see here. Johnson goes through the block. That was so in. Randy, did you see that? It was in. Bad call. Bad call.
Well, that's probably one apiece. 1-1 against Hawaii earlier.
True, true.
Hawaii serving for the game. They have it on the roof. So Hawaii is Kelly Cordray roofs. Gives Hawaii game 4. We will have point per play. Let's take a look at game point.
Right here, Rachel Green. It dribbles along the net. No one can get there. Hawaii dodges a huge bullet, and we go to rally scoring.
We will take a breather. Get ready. It'll be fun in game 5. Game 5. This one will decide the WAC Championship. Gail Johnson has more kills than anyone of this match. 26. Yoonquist of Hawaii has 23. Randy Rosenblum of Holly Rowe. Hawaii fighting off elimination of this tournament. BYU had a match point opportunity, and they served it out, and Hawaii fought back and won game 4, 18-60. There's the 23 kills. She is a great player. Talking with the assistant coach, Charlie Wade. And Hawaii, a little bit of a rest here. Now, this is what they wanted to do. They felt if they stretched the Cougars to 5, they'd have the upper hand. See that Hawaii and BYU, what they've done in 5 games this season.
BYU 1-3. It's always hard in rally scoring because you can't make any mistakes. It limits what you can do. And if I'm Dave Shoji, I go to Angelica Yoonquist and say, hey, just fire away.
This is the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, Nevada. First ever WAC Championship in volleyball. And these fans have been treated to a special final. The Bows have fought back. 18-16 in game 4.
Well, if this is what we can expect from Western Athletic Conference volleyball, sign me up. I think this shows what we can expect in years to come, and that this is going to be a very exciting conference to watch.
Well, we've been on the air better than 2.5 hours. The match about 2 hours, 20 minutes long going into game 4 to game 5. And even Warren Epps a little bit exhausted.
It's been going too long for him. He's tired.
Well, I get rejuvenated. Game 5 will do this to anyone. That second source. Well, the Cougars were so close, they're going to have to refire, recharge for game 5. Yoonquist and the rest of Hawaii has the momentum going into game 5, but that can change in a hurry. In the point per play.
Excuse me, both teams having to go to their benches in that last game.
There's Steele, a big gun at the net with her 14 kills. This is rally scoring. There'll be a point on every rally. You don't have to serve to score. BYU won the toss and elected to receive. It's easier to receive and start your offense and score than to serve. If you serve and win the rally, it's considered a real point. There's Yamashita, the back row specialist, to serve to begin the 5th and deciding game. Well, it's a one-game tournament. And here we go. Unquest 1-0 Hawaii.
Bad pass to begin that series for BYU, and Gail Johnson acknowledged it after the point. She turned to her teammates and said, "My bad, it was a bad pass." Right there, finds the deep corner.
Down the middle, BYU ties it at 1 apiece. Caroline Steuer has been so good for a freshman player in this tournament. Looked good in the semifinals against San Diego State as well.
She's got 14 kills tonight.
Unquest tips, chance for BYU. No, but there's the overpass, and Crawford gives Hawaii the lead at 2-1.
BYU having some troubles here in the early going. They're just a little bit out of sorts.
Midgley back in, replacing Corey Rogers. Well, Midgley's been a spark. She's played good defense in the back row for the Cougars in this match, coming in game 4. Smith tipping, chance for Hawaii to score quickly again, and they do with Unquest.
It's like Hawaii has regrouped. It's like this is the Hawaii team that we've seen all year and that we're used to seeing, and they're being very dominant right now, Randy.
Well, you have a player like Unquest. She's so tough when it counts. On the joust, she tips it up. Here goes Crawford. Midgley with a beautiful dig. Unquest is blocked. Unquest is everywhere. Can BYU put it down? They need to do that. Here's STEELE stepping out and getting it. Point BYU.
Tough matchup there. Amy STEELE and Annalena Smith going up against Unquest in the middle. They finally can get it outside, which is where their offense has to come. They're not going to be able to shove it down Unquist's throat.
Steuer with that tough serve. But Unquist again too tough, and a lift on BYU.
Well, it's amazing that you can even get a hand on a ball by Unquist. Midgley coming in and doing a very good job.
Heidi Illustre back in, number 15, replacing Milbriga, number 8. Normally, a point-per-play game takes about 15 minutes. It goes quickly. Back set to STEELE, and she's got it again. 4-3 Hawaii.
The block was there that time. Unquist got to the outside. She didn't seal off the net, and the ball dribbled down.
BYU down 1 real point, but they can get it back right here with Amy STEELE serving. Smith runs it down. Here's Unquist on the step out. They set Cordray, and Kelly on the soft block. BYU can tie it right here. No. Now they do. So the Cougars deadlock game 5 at 4. These are tired athletes. This has been a long and pressurized match.
Well, that's where I think the fatigue factor comes in. Hawaii should be a little bit more fresh. They had an earlier match yesterday, and BYU was playing till midnight, let's remember.
Yeah, but these players are now on adrenaline rush. Down to 1 game for the WAC title. STEELE just waiting, and now puts it in play. Unquest, 5-4 for the Bows.
She's so hard to isolate one-on-one. That's what makes rally scoring dangerous against her. You can see on the nice backslide, she is just so powerful.
95, Big West Player of the Year. 96, WAC Pacific Division Player of the Year. How often do you see a player be a conference player of the year in 2 different conferences?
Well, she certainly has a chance to make history this year by becoming the only Wahine to be named All-American 4 times in a row.
Dump by Smith for BYU. That was a clever play. Well, these heavyweights are matching each other point for point.
She sees the middle open and takes advantage of it.
Calm before the storm as the teams edge closer to 15. Here's Goods on the slide, gives Hawaii the lead.
Hawaii Hawaii's finding success going down the line. That's where most of their attacks have been in this rally scoring match, and they find it again. Down the line, they isolate one blocker and beat her.
Oh, they're on serve. BYU looking to get that equalizing point right here with Johnson. And she has it. The draw is at 6. Now Gale will serve. Can the Cougars get a real point and gain the lead? Gain the upper hand at this point per play, 5th and deciding game. No, Briga with help from the tape.
Well, it was ugly, but it worked. No, Briga barely skips it over the net, and it really threw BYU off. They didn't know how to react. Watch this. Hits the top of the tape. Can't get to it.
7-6 Hawaii. Steuer, and she tools the block, tying it at 7.
Well, neither team is giving up much, Randy.
Oh, we didn't expect either one would go away in this 5th game. The WAC crown teetering. It doesn't know which way to go. Where will the crown fall? The middle. The roof for STEELE on good. And BYU gains the upper hand. They will change sides now that BYU has reached 8. STEELE will take us to break with that lovely block. And BYU is leading the 5th game. Well, BYU, as the teams exchange sides in the 5th and deciding game, leads 8-7. Hawaii huddling around head coach Dave Sochi. There's Gale Johnson, 27 kills, but she's had 71 swings, 71 attacks in this match. This competitor, this veteran, has really gone after it. 27 kills, the high watermark for her this year. She's done that one other time. Here's Crawford getting blocked by Rogers. Point BYU.
Well, that's that Cougar great wall again that comes up big for BYU. Look at that. Corey Rogers with a solo block. Amy Steele with a solo block back to back.
BYU will send it back to Hawaii. Almost sets Crawford. Goodbye. The 8th point for the Rainbow Wahine.
Excellent kill by Teresa Crawford. She has got to get more into the offense here. It's been all Ljungqvist down the stretch in this rally scoring points.
Well, it really comes down as if BYU sides out, they win the match. Side outs, of course, are points, but if they just alternate, they win. They're up a real point. And they put this one away with Amy Steele going to 10-8 for the Cougars.
Right here, Amy Steele. Block wasn't there for Hawaii, and she hammers it.
Corey Rogers has been very tough serving throughout the match. And another point for Brigham Young. Again, the tough first serve of Corey Rogers. Timeout, Hawaii. 11-8, BYU in very good shape. They're not in, but they have the upper hand on one of the top teams in the country. Well, BYU would get great respect if they could win this match. It would be their 23rd win in a row.
What's amazing, Randy, is that Amy Steele is out-middling Angelica Ljungqvist in some instances. She's 6'2", Ljungqvist 6'3", but I think they've been pretty even today.
Oh, Amy Steele, a terrific player in her own right, just a junior from Laguna Hills, California. Led BYU in blocking last year, led them in hitting, kills per game, service aces. She's not an unfound commodity, not a surprise this year in her junior year. She had a magnificent sophomore campaign. Really classic blocking technique for both Steele and Ljungqvist. And she won't give it away too easily. Ljungqvist will come out, refire up, and go after it. Now, is that a fashion statement or what?
I don't know. I think maybe his hair was dark at the beginning of this match, and he's gotten gray. It's been so stressful.
It's been a long match. but it's been fun. There's Gale Johnson.
Career best kills tonight for Gale Johnson. Her previous high was 27 against San Diego State, and she has matched that tonight.
There's that Rogers tough float serve. Unquest hit it out. A hitting error. 12-8. The Cougars in very good shape. Illustre back into the back row for Nobriga for Hawaii. Another good serve. Another breakdown by Hawaii. Chance for BYU to get another real point with Steuer. Here's Crawford going up. Can BYU put it down with STEELE? Yes. 13-8 for Brigham Young. They have the Hawaii Rainbow Wahine by the neck.
I guess I'm surprised. You see it again, one-on-one. It's Unquist versus STEELE, and STEELE wins again. I'm surprised by how calm BYU is right now.
I was in Santa Barbara on Monday night, and Long Beach State was in exactly this position as you take a look at that last point put away by the Cougars. Long Beach State had a 13-8 lead in Game 5 against Pacific. And Pacific scored 7 straight points in the 5th game to serve it out and win 15-13. So BYU's not quite in, not yet.
No, and they've had a tendency this year to let big leads go. So let's not crown them the champions yet by any means.
But in this case, it's a little bit different. Not only do they have Gale Johnson in point-per-play scoring, they have a real upper hand because they really only need 2 side-outs to win the match. There's the career high with the 27 kills.
What a big week, the last 2 weeks for the Johnson family. Her husband, James Johnson, a starting lineman for the BYU Cougars. They won the Mountain Division in BYU football. He's here supporting his wife. And then Gale Johnson going for the WAC Championship again. And then they've got to come back next weekend for the football championship. So it's been busy in the Johnson family.
As long as this match has lasted, it may go into next weekend.
He may just have to stay.
Just stay here. Well, BYU has Hawaii back on its heels, and Amy Steele and company have played a terrific 5th and final game. Tori Rogers give her a great pat on the back with her tough serving. Here goes Crawford. Doug again. BYU looking for number 14. Steuer. Yamashita digs. Here's Crawford. Hitting it out. Match point for BYU at 14-8. BYU is on the brink of winning the Western Athletic Conference Championship. Match point number 2. They had one in Game 4. Unquist is done. Rogers and Cougars put it on Hawaii's side. Outside Crawford again. She has to put it away and can't. BYU swinging for the title. Great dig by Yamashita. Crawford is dug by Johnson. Another swing for the crown. The tip. BYU wins the crown. They are the champions of the WAC. Stun Hawaii. The Bows lose for only the 2nd time in 33 outings and only the 3rd time in 65. For BYU, this is how they won it. Right here, tipping it down, and the Cougars celebrate. Steuer got the tip, and they deserve to celebrate. As you take another look at Caroline Steuer going up over the block, over Illustre, and tipping it for the win. And BYU dominated the 5th game. You don't normally see a 15-8 blowout against a team like Hawaii in Game 5 when it's point per play.
Alexandria Pachiknikov had forged an impressive business career by thrusting when conventional wisdom told others to parry. So it came as no surprise that in matters of personal well-being, she was quick to shout, "Anga!" She addressed her naysayers thus: I pay for insurance I shall scantily use.
The feeling that they think it's already a done deal. They had a huge swing, as we pointed out, when we were going to talk to Antron Brown because of Antron's red light at Las Vegas. They parlay that now into a third consecutive championship. I think it would be a stunning upset if Andrew could pull this off.
Well, but that's why